everyone, welcome back to my kitchen, and today we're going to revisit a retro recipe from my childhood. Good old-fashioned jelly roll. This starts with a sponge cake that you bake in a really thin layer in a sheet pan, and then you let it cool, and you try really hard not to break it, and you try really hard not to crack it. But as luck would have it, there's a story. So come on along, and let's see how this all comes together. We're gonna make up this jelly roll today because personally I think it's the perfect dessert for summer. It's super easy to make. It literally takes 7 minutes in the oven, which I have preheating at 400 degrees. So you're gonna use 1 cup of cake flour. I showed you how to make that in a previous video. I'll link it here on the screen and down below. 1 cup of sugar, 4 eggs at room temperature, and I also showed you how to bring your eggs to room temperature quickly in a previous video where I showed how to make the cake flour. And we're gonna use a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's all that goes into this sponge cake. It's super easy. What we're gonna start off with, so our eggs are at room temperature, which is awesome. I'm just gonna crack them into this bowl. Now, we're gonna go ahead and start beating these on high until they're a little bit fluffy. Now you see how creamy they look and how foamy they look. We're gonna toss in our baking powder and our salt. Now you see one of the big reasons we want room temperature eggs is because we want the volume. If your eggs are cold, you're not gonna get this volume. Now do you also see that the eggs have changed color a little bit? They've gotten a little more pale. This is when you wanna turn your beaters on high and start gradually adding your sugar until you get a nice, thick, creamy mixture that's going to be approximately double in volume. We're gonna add in our vanilla extract and just give that a stir. And then we're gonna put our flour in here and we're going to fold it in with our spatula. Okay, we've got all of our flour incorporated. It's really important when you do this that you scrape down from the bottom and fold up, and then I come into the middle, and then I scrape around the side of the bowl into the center. You want to do this slowly but surely because, like I said, you want to keep a lot of the air that you've beaten in there. So now what we're going to do is grab a pan, and this is as close to a jelly roll pan that I have. It's approximately 12 by 15. Typically a jelly roll pan is 10 by 13, around that, but whatever you have on hand is probably going to be fine. If you have like a rimmed cookie sheet, that will work, just not a half sheet pan, that's too big. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to scrape our batter onto our baking sheet. The offset spatula is going to work very well to help you manipulate the batter into all 4 corners of your pan. Okay, I've got my batter evenly distributed in my jelly roll pan for all intents and purposes. We're gonna pop this in a 400-degree oven for 7 minutes, or until when you stick it with a toothpick, or it comes out clean, or when you press it with your finger, it springs back evenly. So we'll be back when this comes out of the oven, and I'll show you what it looks like and what happens next. Okay, our sponge cake is done, and it was baked for 7 minutes. It's perfect, golden brown, and around the edges, it's nice and done. So what I did was I took this spatula, and then I just gently went around all the edges, like so, and then I like to take my fish slice, or a big spatula that's skinny, and then I just like to go this all the way around the cake. Don't lift it up too much because you might crack it or break the cake. You just want to make sure. Now, remember, I sprayed the pan, I put parchment, and then I sprayed the parchment. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this rack away. And then I'm going to do that. I have a couple of pieces of parchment that I liberally dusted with powdered sugar. And then I want to take this parchment off that was in the bottom of the pan. very carefully because you can tear your cake if you don't do it just so. When I say these cakes can be finicky, I'm not joking.
Fragile.
You would, yes, fragile is right. You would think that a sponge cake wouldn't be as fragile because just looking at it, it looks pretty sturdy, but it's pretty fragile. So what you're gonna do now is you're going to roll this up gently. And I had someone comment on the picture I put it on, on the picture I put it on Instagram, that it wasn't cracked. And no, it wasn't cracked. And this is how you get no cracks. First of all, you make sure that you measure your ingredients precisely. Then you make sure that you take it out of the pan almost immediately after taking it out of the oven. And then you roll it up very quickly. And then I'm gonna put this on the rack and let it cool. It only takes about a half an hour for this to cool all the way. Now, full disclosure, I made another one before I made this one, and it cracked when I was taking it out of the pan. So it's setting aside cooling, and I'm gonna fill that with something else, but I'm just not gonna waste it because it's perfectly good cake. So we're gonna let this cool, and we'll come back when it's time to fill this with some raspberry jam. All right, we're ready to fill our cake roll, and it seems, remember how I told you I made a second one? Well, I filled the second one with Nutella before I turned the camera on. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fill this with some raspberry jam because I made a bonehead mistake. And I have about a cup of this is a natural style raspberry jam. And it doesn't have any like high fructose corn syrup in it or anything like that. This cake roll does have a crack in it, but you know what? Life is full of cracks, and that's okay. We're just gonna slap some jam on it and make it look pretty. And it's gonna taste good, and nobody is gonna care about the crack. So now we're gonna roll it up, cracks and all, and just take your paper and let it help you to roll it up. And there's our crack. And our crack is going to be encapsulated on the inside of the roll. So you want your seam side down, and so when I get to the end, I like to just give it a little bit of a press. And there you go, see? No cracks on the top, just powdered sugar. It looks really pretty. So now what we're gonna do before we plate is I'm gonna cut these ugly ends off. And that's what you want a jelly roll to look like, just like that. Perfect. We'll cut this ugly end off. And you know, I'm pretty sure that you won't have a problem finding someone to consume those. And I will tell you, I pitched a fit when I realized that I had done that and I had filled the wrong cake roll with the wrong stuff because I really wanted it to look good on camera. But you know what? This is real life, and God was apparently teaching me a lesson. So it's okay, and it all turned out fine in the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate these, and I'll be right back and I'll show you what they look like. There you have it, delicious raspberry filled jelly roll. Of course, this is the one that I wanted to be super pretty because it has the jelly in it. But this one, and I'll show you, this is the one I accidentally filled that I wanted to put the jelly in. It has the Nutella in it. No cracks, no breakage. It's positively beautiful, and I know that you will be successful. Just be sure that you don't overbake it even by 1 minute. I'm sure that this is the problem on the jelly filled one because I forgot to set a timer, and then I did a lot of guesswork before taking it out of the oven. So honestly, 7 minutes is exactly how long you want to bake this. Then you want to make sure that you get it out of the pan immediately and roll it up in the parchment, or you can also roll it up in a clean lint-free flour sack towel or in a clean pillowcase. I love using pillowcases for roll cakes because they're a little bit larger and they are completely lint-free, especially if you're using an old-fashioned percale style pillowcase. And that means that there's more polyester in it than cotton. So that's just what my recommendations are, and that's how they look. But like I said, you know what? In the end, they're all gonna taste delicious. All these need maybe is a little bit of whipped cream on top, and they're gonna be awesome. So, do you wanna taste one? Which one do you wanna taste?
Both.
You wanna taste both. Cut off some of this Nutella one. And the Nutella is very, very sticky and it's a little messy to cut. So when you do that with the Nutella, make sure that you understand that it's not going to be like a perfectly beautiful slice.
It's delicious.
It really is good. I'm the one who ate the ends off this one. I'm not going to lie. And then the raspberry one, which he already knows how this tastes. And raspberry is his favorite. And traditionally, raspberry is what I remember my mom using. It's what I also remember them being filled with in the store. But really, the sky's the limit. What do you like?
Also delicious.
It's really good. And this would be great with anything. You see, I've put Nutella in a roll, raspberry jam, strawberry jam, apricot jam, whatever you have on hand. Strawberry rhubarb would be awesome. Lemon filling would be amazing. You could put peanut butter in it. I don't see why not. I mean, you could. I'm going to be making a couple more roll cakes throughout the summer that are going to be just as easy with a little bit of a surprise in the filling. So I'm going to save those secrets for later because I don't want to spoil it for you. But that's how easy it is to make a roll cake. I really do feel like these are the perfect summer dessert because they don't take a long time to bake and they won't heat up your kitchen a whole lot. And it's just a really refreshing, very light dessert. And it's
really good with ice cream.
You could inside or on top? On top. You can just put whatever your favorite filling is right on in there. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my kitchen, I would like to welcome you because it's always fun to invite new friends and meet you. So leave me a comment down below if you're new and let me know. Be sure and hit that subscribe button, and if you are a tried and true member of the Noreen's Kitchen family, be sure to hit the bell notification button down below. It's right next to the subscribe button because we don't want any of you to miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen all the time. I hope you enjoyed this video retro recipe jelly roll edition, and I hope that you give it a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.